working on the charger. I was working on the roof wing actually. So I'm grafting that Trackhawk roof wing into the Magnum roof wing. So it's actually coming out really good. I talked to the guy at Black Ops Auto Works, and he was saying that I don't even need to paint it. All I need to do is get it in primer and then sand it to 3000 grit, which is really going to save a lot of time. So hopefully by the end of the week, I can get that thing 100% finished. Maybe even before then. I'm waiting on some new hard roof, so I will have the roof video out tomorrow. Which the so I had an issue with the hardener hardening too quick. It was supposed to last like an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. It ended up hardening in 45 to 50 minutes. So it didn't wet the whole roof out, which was unfortunate. So we'll just have to do it again. I ordered a lot slower hardener, which it has, I think, a 2 hour and 15-minute work time. So they'll give me a little bit additional work time so I don't have to worry about it hardening too quick, which that's why I got the one that had the little bit longer, which was an hour and 30 instead of the 45-minute hardener. So we'll see. I mean, the roof, the part that did wet out looks really good. It looks exactly like the Bugatti, the carbon with the blue Kevlar. So it's really going to look really nice. So hopefully we can get that done this week as well, once I get the new hardener and some other materials. But I'm just pretty excited to get the car painted. So let's see. How are you? I'm not too bad. Just got back from the shop working on the wing. When are we going to get some SR20 VVL videos? Probably after I'm done with the charger. So I've really not been working on much other than the charger for the last, I don't know, few months at least. So hopefully by the time it's finished, I can start fixing the front end frame structure on my 240, then get the VVL in there, wire up a standalone ECU, and just kind of go from there. I'm probably going to go with a different turbocharger. I have a 3071 that's on it currently. I'll probably go with a Borg Warner instead, but we'll see what happens with that. I need to make downpipe. I have an exhaust on it. It's just one of those things I'm waiting for to have some time so I can actually dedicate some good time to it and not just rush it. Let's see. What's up? Not much. What do you daily right now? Is it your truck? Yeah, so most of the time I'm driving my truck. The reason I do that is because I would drive the Hellcat, but I'm always doing body work right now, working on the charger, and I don't want to be dusty driving the Hellcat. So my truck has leather seats. If the Hellcat had leather seats, I'd probably be more apt to drive it, but it has the Alcantara interior, the leather package. So I really don't want to be dusty driving that and get that all grimy and dirty. So I just drive my truck, and once I'm done with all the body work and I can be a little bit cleaner, I'll probably drive the Hellcat some more. Once the charger's done, I'm going to be dailying that probably the most, unless I need to pick something up with my truck. So it's just, I can't wait to actually be able to drive that thing around. How's your Binky build? Can't wait for it to be done. Well, the weird thing is that I actually have a Mini Cooper, so that could get kind of confusing. But the Charger, I can't wait to drive it either. Let's see. Hey, Dave, when are you going to show the finished product to Dodge? Probably when it's finished. So, probably closer to SEMA. I'd say probably SEMA is going to be the one time that they're actually going to see it, unless SEMA doesn't happen again. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's see. Good evening. The blue is just gorgeous. Can't wait to see it finished. Yeah, I know. I really was having second thoughts on the blue because I was painting such small parts. But once I had the fenders painted and I saw it under the light, it was just it's just the best color. I feel like it's the best color for that car. I could have done it the same red as the Hellcat, but I feel like that red would have just kind of been lost on the car. So I think the blue is more subtle and it just really highlights the body lines. The red would have still kind of highlighted them, but it wouldn't have been as light. So I feel like you would have just lost some of those body lines in the car. Let's see. What do you think about me putting an LS7 in my GTO? I mean, that'd be tight. If you have the money for an LS7, throw it in there. Stock wheels on the Charger. I personally love the idea of making a production vehicle that Dodge never made. So the issue is the lug pattern is going to be 5x127, the Trackhawk lug pattern, since I'm using all the Trackhawk drivetrain. So I can't use Hellcat wheels because they're 5x115. So I'm going to end up using the Trackhawk wheels for the time being because I have a set and I think they're only 10 inches wide, but I need something that's 11 and a half inches wide. So I'll end up looking for wheels and maybe we'll see what options are out there for Trackhawks in something that's a good offset because I'm not exactly sure how the offset is going to differ because it's a Charger body instead of a Trackhawk. And since the flares are there, it's a little bit wider than a Trackhawk, so I can run the wider wheels. But I don't know if the wider wheels for a Trackhawk have the correct offset to, sit correct in the flares. So we'll just have to see what happens with it. And once I get to that point where I have the body all complete and the suspension on it, I could really go and figure out what wheels I want to put on it. You will need a track suit and helmet to match the color of the car. I have a helmet. I could paint it. I could paint match that thing. That'd be kind of a cool video. Okay, do you have a number you're shooting for on the strip? What times do you think it will be capable of when the Charger's all said and done? So the issue is I'm going to have to kind of be iffy on this because I know Trackhawks are pretty fast at the strip stock, but they're heavy. So I did find out when I made the first roof for the car out of carbon fiber, carbon Kevlar. It should have in it right now almost the same amount of resin that's going to be in it when it's finished. So I weighed that roof that was half wetted out, half not. Actually, it's probably more than half wetted out, but it only weighed like 7.8 pounds, something like that, almost 8 pounds. So I'm thinking the roof is going to be around 10 pounds, which the roof that I made, I still need to weight on a scale, but it feels like it's 50 to 60 pounds. So that's a pretty significant weight savings. Plus, I'm going to do the same thing to the hatch. If I can save 100 pounds between, let's say, the roof and the hatch, then I'm going to put different seats in there. I'll probably save a couple 100 pounds there. If I can keep the car around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds lighter than a Trackhawk is, it's going to be very significant. Even at 700 horsepower, it'd be a lot faster because you're not going to have to worry about the wheels spinning or anything like that. It'll just hook. So I think when I have 1,500 horsepower in it, it still shouldn't have an issue hooking with drag slicks, but I'm going to say maybe high eights. I think it could really do high eights easily, but I'm not going to have a cage in it. So I'm only going to have like one time to run at each drag strip and then I'll get kicked out. So I didn't build the car to be a drag car. I built it to, be able to daily it, but be able to also take it to go road racing or something like that. I'm really not a fan of drag racing, but I'll do it every once in a while. But I'm not going to put a cage in a car that I want to be daily and have nice interior and stuff like that. It just, to me, it's not something that's important to me. So I'd rather have the car look nice, the interior to look nice, and it just to be comfortable, but still be fast. So let's see. Why don't you use carbon fiber fabric cut-offs for the mold? Less expensive. No. Why did you use carbon fiber fabric? So the reason I use carbon fiber, it's a system. So I bought the system because I wanted to test it out. It makes a high temp mold. So I could autoclave, if I wanted to, I could autoclave the roof with or with pre-impregnated carbon fiber, and I could have a dry carbon roof, which then I probably would have a 5-pound roof, a roof instead of a 10-pound roof. So I could possibly do that because that's why you use carbon fiber. So carbon fiber can handle the high temp. The gel coat is a high temp gel coat. The laminating resin is a high temp laminating resin that has aluminum. It's like aluminum filled. So it was just a system. I wanted to try it out. It works pretty well, but there's, it's expensive. That is to note, which I really wasn't too worried about it. I just wanted to test it out to see. I probably should have tested it on something a little bit smaller, which I did do the FC fan shroud, and I did like how that came out. But it's just something I want to try. So I'll probably end up using the same system on the hatch since I have enough materials or close enough materials to do it. I may have to order like a gallon or so extra of the laminating resin. I should have enough carbon fiber fabric, but it's a lot better to make carbon fiber parts. And the molds are supposed to last quite a bit longer, so well, you can you can order a factory Hellcat in blue, like with a red eye. You can order the new Chargers as a red eye, I'm pretty sure. Also, was the Magnum actually wider than a stock Charger and a 2008 model? So I think the Magnum looks, it has like these little flares on it. So I don't think it's wider body wise, but it has those little flares, which I tried to put my wide body Hellcat wheels and they poked pretty hard. So I don't know. It's probably like a little bit wider just on the flares, but the rest of the car is the same width. The hatch is a little bit wider though. So where the trunk is, like I showed you guys in the videos, the hatch actually sits, I think, 1.5 inches wider on each side. That's why I had to, taper it down to the Charger trunk. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, Dave, it's your friend Martin here. Son and I can't wait for your completion. We enjoy your videos. Thanks, Martin. Stuff from New Mexico. Not much. What's going on? I have a Magnum RT. I am saving up to update it. What mod should I do? Should I keep it stock and save for a Hellcat? I envy you and admire your work. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to, it also depends on what engine's in it. So if it is a 5.7 or a 6.1, those engines, they were kind of crappy back in the day. So they had a lot of issues, which the new ones do have their issues. But if you're going to spend, let's say you're going to, supercharge it or turbo or something, you might as well just get a Hellcat swap or buy a wrecked Hellcat, because the amount of time you're going to save just throwing something stock in there and not having to worry about tuning it, and you're either going to have 500 horsepower or you can have 700, which you can't beat it. I mean, it costs a little bit more up front, but the money you save and having to worry about tuning and mods and all that other stuff, and then you can have all that new updated stuff and not have to worry about your old 5.7 or 6.1 having issues or having cam issues or head gasket issues or any of those issues. So let's see, using small cutoffs instead of big sheets, any difference? I'm not sure what you're referring to. how much harder will the hatch be to make? So the hatch is actually going to be a lot less material because it's just like the small top piece, and then it's, you know, the charger trunk piece, and the rest is just, you know, two strips that hold those together. So it's going to have to be a two-piece mold, like I made the roof. It'll be a little bit more detailed because the backside is the whole back of the hatch, but the whole window part is not going to use any fabric. So it's going to save, I feel like it's going to save a lot of, lot of fabric or carbon fiber fabric. So also when I made the roof, it really wasn't that much, even though it turned out to not work because um, the materials aren't that much. Like a yard of that carbon fiber, I think, is like $30. So I used a yard and a half, and the resin, I think, is like $80. So it's just time and setting it up and stuff like that. And the mold was very expensive. So once you have the mold made, it's not too bad. So I don't think the hatch is going to be that difficult. Probably the hardest thing is going to be gluing it together once it's made. What's up, Dave? Not much. The more likes this video gets, the more people join us. Thanks. Let's see. Do you have plans for the interior? Is it going to be stock Dodge interior? You have planned custom that matches the body color? I think that'd be dope to have accents match with a body color. So I think maybe eventually I'll have the trim bezel and stuff match the carbon fiber. I may end up doing something different with the interior. I'm not exactly sure. I've been thinking about just throwing factory Hellcat interior in there, but there are a few things I'd like to do, but I don't know. Where I live, there's not any good upholsterers or upholstery shops, but maybe I could find one in Colorado Springs or Denver, or somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and then they could do my headliner and stuff like that. Because I previously tried to have a headliner done in Alcantara, and it just got destroyed, and it was like a waste of, I think, like $200 or something like that. So hopefully I could find a good upholstery shop, and then I could just kind of go from there, and they could do all the little things that I want to have done to the car. So it makes it kind of, because I want to have the emblem in the seats and stuff like that. So can't wait to see the Charger wagon finished. You and me both. What's up, Dave? Love the color you chose for the Charger. Really looking forward to seeing the finished product. Thanks, Steven. To make the carbon fiber mold, small pieces versus full sheets. So it was very large, so it wasn't wide enough to actually overhang enough. So I had to, use, that's why I cut it. So it's only, I think, 50 or 60 inches wide, and I had to double up on it. So to make it wide enough and to make it actually hang over enough for the flange, I was having to use two sheets to do it. That's why I was cutting it and stuff like that. So if they offer the fabric a little bit wider, I would have been able to just do it in one full sheet, which I think on the last layer and the first layer, because the fabric, the 3K is a little bit wider, I could do that. But the 12K, I think, was like, it's either 50 or 60 inches, something like that. But it's just too thin, just a little bit. So I had to just do I had to make it work. What do you think Dodge's reaction is going to be when they see your car finished? Maybe even take it to Dodge dealership. Do you think Dodge will make factory versions of your car? I have no clue. I mean, I'm going to get a reaction video regardless, but we'll see what they say when they see it. The name should be the Dodge SRT Magnum. I don't know. They already had the Dodge SRT Magnum, and I've already pretty much committed to the Rampage name. So plus the SRT Magnum was kind of, I don't know, it was cool, but at the same time as the 6.1, it was kind of lame. Just to let you know, Dave is hold on. Just to let you know, Dave is you should paint the fenders on the car, not off the car. It will be mismatched colors. The fenders could be much lighter or darker than the rest of the car. I don't know why people keep talking about the paint matching. It's a base clear, even tri-coats. So I painted my, as long as you count the coats, as long as you know how to paint a car, it's going to match. So if it was a candy, I would probably paint it all at once, but it's not. So plus the booth isn't large enough to paint a whole car at the same time in the booth. It'd almost have to be as big as that shop to lay everything out and be able to spray it without bumping into stuff or touching it when you're painting. So also I don't like to overload the booth when I paint because that's how you miss spots. That's how you miss, you have dry edges or something, and I don't want any of that. So if it was a candy, I'd worry about it, but a base clear, it's not really that big a deal. It's all going to match. Plus, I'm using a very high line base and I'm using a very high line clear. So I've recently painted stuff like 6 months ago. I painted stuff for my VR4 that I painted, like a year and a half ago, and it still matched. So, and that's plumb crazy, which it has a lot more stuff in the paint than the blue did. Will some of the Magnum interior pieces be used in the trunk area? That is the plan. I may modify them a little bit eventually, but in the beginning, I'm probably just going to throw all the Magnum, trim for the trunk in there and just kind of go that way. And then I kind of want to thin out those side things on the Magnum. I really don't like how wide they are. I really don't ever think they needed to be that wide. So plus those little cubbies, they just always get grimy. So I will probably just go and redo those eventually. But for the time being, I'll just throw them in. Let's see. LS7 GTO. Let's see. I'm curious why everyone thinks you want FCA's approval on your build. It's cool and awesome. How much more validation do you need? Yeah, I really don't care what they think. But at the end of the day, a reaction video is a reaction video, and they always do well. So most likely I'll take it to a Dodge dealership, or when I go to SEMA with it, they'll see it and I'll get a reaction video then as well. So I'm not too worried about what they think, but the reaction video will be kind of interesting to see what they really think. Let's see. You did aftermarket control arms in the front. Did you do aftermarket in the rear also? I'm sure that will help save some more weight. So I have the Black Ops AutoWorks front and rear adjustable Trackhawk control arms. So I have the upper one for the front, and then I have I think there's 3 of them in the rear. So there's, one thing I was really worried about is not having a way to adjust the suspension, because I still need to do that on my Hellcat. It has a little bit of excessive camber, even though in the rear, which is weird, even though the car had like 1,200 miles on it when I took it to the dealership, and it had no previous rear issues. So it was wrecked in the front. It wasn't wrecked in the rear. So I think it's just a factory thing. They said it was like 0.5 out on each side, which really doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to be happy to be able to adjust the camber, the caster, and all that stuff. do you plan to sell the Hell Wagon? No, I actually don't. So I've people have asked about buying it, and people, if somebody offered me a ridiculous amount of money, it'd have to be really ridiculous. But I've told people at the same time, if they want me to build them one, I'll just go buy a brand new Hellcat wide body and convert it to a station wagon, and it'd be 200 grand. So I'm not really too worried about it because I don't want to get in the business of converting Chargers into station wagons. But if the opportunity presents itself where there's enough people that want it done, I'll do it. So I have the experience. I've done this one, and it's coming out good, and that'll be a lot easier because I'm not going to be converting them to all-wheel drive. I'll just be putting a hatch on them and doing body work and stuff like that, and interior stuff. Hey Dave, the best car build on YouTube. Thanks, I appreciate that. If I convert a Magnum like you did, the first one, I'm better off making it an RT if I'm going to be driving it every day and going cross country. Is the SRT too much like a race car to take across the country? I mean, I think so I took my Magnum swapped Scat Pack across the country for race week, and it drove great. I mean, it was nice, but the Hellcat, the same thing. But I don't know, it just kind of depends on what you're used to. I wouldn't recommend taking them to like Detroit or any of those places, because it seems like if you have like a Chrysler product, they get stolen. But that's also one thing I'm worried about with mine is if I go somewhere with it, once it's finished, I'm gonna have to put a switch or something in it so someone can't steal it, because it seems like there's a really easy way to steal them. And if you look at the auctions, there's just tons of them on there that are stripped. So I don't know, it just kind of depends. How much left until the whole project is done? So I'd say quite a bit till the whole project's done, but till it's painted, not very much. I just have to do a few final touches on the body once I finish this wing, which I should have the wing done sometime this week. Then I could start working on the little things, the door jambs and all that, get it primed, get it sealed. Once I have the outside sealed, I will do a few little things on the interior. I'll spray the interior, spray the engine bay. And then once that's cured, I can mask it off. Then I can spray the outside of the car. Once the outside of the car is done, I could, paint the bumpers. So I'm planning on being able to paint the car in, a week or so, which will be really nice. So I could actually see the body painted, then I could have the carbon fiber roof on there. I could have the front and rear bumpers painted, the doors painted. I already have all the other stuff painted. And then I won't assemble it until I have everything clear broad in like 30 days. So probably in the next couple months, it should be painted, clear broad, and then the drivetrain, it'll only take me probably a week to, 1 or 2 weeks to do the front and rear subframe, so I can get all the Trackhawk stuff to bolt up, and then I'll start building the engine. So it should be getting done pretty quick. It's, I think I could say this, but I think all the heavy fabrication is behind me since I have the roof and stuff done. So I think we're getting there. Hey Dave, how are you doing? Looking forward to seeing how the roof is coming this week. Thanks. You should take the front and back of a Dodge Charger and connect it to a Challenger since you're doing this project. I'm not sure why you do that. Is Moog a good brand for control arms? Hold on, control arms to any experience, or do I have any experience with them? I mean, I've used Moog before, but that was a long time ago. So Um, I think they're probably all right. I don't see why they wouldn't be. Let's see. Dave, any thoughts on new diesel truck build at the moment? Seeing 2017 F-350s are selling for stupid money. I didn't know that. I'm really looking up at you. I love DIY stuff, learning things from scratch and searching through forums. I have a 93 BMW 5 Series going to be wide body with flares from an E90. That's cool. Looking forward to seeing the final results. Thanks. Going to Texas and Florida. Tight. Went to Florida last week. Don't miss the drive from Texas. Cal SRT is making good money from his channel, switching 300s into 396 Hellcats and red eye swap cars. I wonder where he learned how to do that from. Probably from watching my videos. Have you taken the roof out of the mold yet? I have. I have pulled it out of the mold. When fabricating the floor to accommodate for the transfer case, do you consider using a modifying a Trackhawk floor pan? Why or why not? So the reason I didn't use a Trackhawk floor pan is because all the drivetrain on the Trackhawk actually sits like 3 to 4 inches lower. So the floor pan isn't modified. So it wouldn't work. There's no provision for a transfer case because the transfer case sits so much lower that it doesn't need to be. So that's why I ended up making my own tranny tunnel and transfer case tunnel part, because I looked around and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find anything that would, I could cut out and make work. So what gauge sheet metal did you use for your powder coat oven? I can't remember. I think it says in the video what gauge I used, but I don't remember what it was. Pretty thin. It wasn't too thick. It was just like some. I got it at like a metal place that makes siding for shops and stuff, and they did the bending and they have the bending machine. So I really don't think it was very thick. I'm late here. Hold on. I'm late, but I'm here. How are you doing, Dave? Hope all is well. I'm doing pretty good. Just getting ready for dinner. Miss Sandy said, hello, Dave. She loves your work. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hi, Dave. Enjoying the project. Could you do either Sunday earlier than today is, hold on. Today's for us in the UK. All the best. So I was planning on actually doing this earlier, but then I was working on the roof wing and I kind of almost forgot that it was Sunday. Hello from Florida. What's going on, Terry? Hey, Dave, planning on a drift build soon? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind having another drift car, but I mean, I could drift a Hellcat. I've done it before, but I really don't know. Drifting is just, I'm just not really into it. I don't mind doing it, but just the sport and going to events and stuff just kind of, I just don't like it. I don't like where the scene has gone and how, like when you go there, I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm not into it. It's just not fun for me. So maybe one day, but we'll see what happens. How did you learn how to do all the body work? Any schools? So I pretty much just learned from trial and error. I started on, things here and there, and just kind of worked on stuff till I got to where I am right now, which I still am learning stuff. And, working with Josh, because he's been doing it for a long time, you pick up on stuff pretty quickly. So, um, I mean, that's just a plus. But yeah, just pretty much learning as I go is the best way that I learn. I think that's the best way kind of anybody learns. So cool. Thanks for the reply. Must have watched your videos 6 times now. Enjoy the wagon build. Thanks. I appreciate it. Have you heard about gate bill in Scandinavia? Never heard of them. Hey Dave, love your work and love how you show us all the small details you do from Long Island, New York. Thanks. I appreciate it. How's the carbon fiber roof project coming along? So I had to actually order some slower hardener. I'll pretty much finish it up this week, as long as, whenever the hardener comes, be able to finish that up, have the roof done. And then we could, by that time I should be done with the wing, and then I could get to pretty much getting the car painted. So really, I can't wait. It's going to look good. Who's Miss Sandy? Said you're a true blessing in the world, in the car world. Thanks. Yeah, 2017 F-350 aluminum bodies are going through the roof all over. Supply and demand. I have one. It doesn't have very many miles either. Really nice work. Question, why not make the roof till the end? So the issue with making the roof and the issue with making the wing in the hatch and all of those other things is, to make them, I have to sand over parts of the body that if I painted, it would damage it. So, I mean, even having to go back, I was having to, after I finished the roof, the roof plug, I had to go back and fix some stuff in the primer, because I was sanding with 40 grit sanding, sandpaper over it, and then 80, and then just kind of needs attention. So if I would have had that painted, it would have just damaged the paint, and I would have had to go back and paint it. So there's no reason to paint the car, then have issues by scratching with sandpaper and stuff like that, and then having to worry about it. So this is a lot easier, more efficient than getting ahead of myself, painting the car, and then being like, well, I need to make this roof, and then having issues there. So by the time you're done building this car, will you be able to afford gas? I see it going up in the future. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't remember the last time I looked what the price of gas was. So enjoy the build. Keep it up. Thanks. Do you have any plans for the Subaru? I don't know. I've been wanting to, take it out and rip it around, but I just been really busy with the Charger. I just spend pretty much all my time working on it. So once I'm finished with it, I'll have some time to play around with some of these projects that I have. Are you a fan of Pontiac? Not really. I mean, if I got like a GTO or something, that'd be cool, but I don't know. It's not really my thing. Thanks for the reply. I am watching your videos in order. Australia caught up. Thanks. It's going to look pretty awesome. Love the build. Thanks. My Magnum had a horrible blind spot due to the door mirror and A-pillar. How about going all cameras for your mirrors, those things hanging off the windshield, and the doors are so old fashioned. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. I've seen there was this Civic a long time ago. This girl had that I knew, and it had, instead of the mirrors, it had cameras. But when you turn the turn signal on, then the display was like in the center console. So I don't know. I really don't know unless it projected an image on the windshield. But I think we're that's like a little bit further ahead with technology and everything. So that'd be cool. But for what it is now, keeping the mirrors. Been following your build for some time now, since before the Magnum build, and love your videos. Wondering if you have any other plans for the Hell Wagon that we don't know about. From Omaha, Nebraska. So I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys know, but I plan on taking it to SEMA, taking it to other events across the country, probably Rocky Mountain Race Week again, and so on. So I don't know what other plans I'd have with it, but I plan on having fun with it once I'm finished building it. That's going to be a plus. When we get another video, I plan on having the roof up tomorrow, the video for the roof. So how far from getting paint on the body? So the next couple of weeks, once the wing's done this week, I could get the little odds and ends finished up and get that painted. Hey Dave, took your advice on my 08 Dodge Daytona Charger, 5.7, misfire on 6 and 8 exhausts, have a new motor installed, but on hold. It's the number, hold on, it's a number collector car, so should I upgrade to a 6.2? I mean, if it's actually a collector car, I'd probably just keep the same engine in it. But at that point, I don't know. I think people really don't mind if you put like a 6.2 or 6.4 or something in there, something that's similar. Plus, I'd rather have a 6.2 in there instead of the 6.1 or the 5.7. So I don't have the Scat Pack Magnum is going to be a red eye Magnum soon. So it's and plus an LS7 is like I thought they're supercharged. I guess it depends on which one it is. And they're like, I don't know, they'd be pretty comparable with a 6.2 on there. Thank you for the replies. Do you like G bodies? Because you should make a Grand National or Monte Carlo wagon. I've actually been thinking about finding a Grand National, but I'd have to find a cheap one or like a project one. How will you go about getting the quarter glass for the rear doors? I might actually just make those out of carbon fiber because you really don't need to see out of them. So do you have a favorite car builder or car guru you look up to? Not really. I don't watch too many car shows. I don't watch very much racing or anything like that. So could you show the painted fenders? I could. They're down in the basement. Let's see. Doop, 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 doop. All the painted stuff. I can't wait till the whole car's painted. It'll be exciting. It's funny, somebody was talking about how these didn't look like they matched the fenders, but literally every angle, this paint color looks different. But when it's all next to each other, it looks the same. So I don't think I'll have any issues. I've never had any issues before matching stuff. Let's see. do you want to do any high end, say like Porsche, Ferrari, Lotus, McLaren from Regina, Canada? Stay safe and remain healthy. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing a Porsche or something like that. I really don't know if I would get into like get a Ferrari or Lamborghini or a McLaren or anything like that. I don't know. It's just not me. If I got anything similar to that, I really, like I've said before, wouldn't mind finding like a Pantera project. But I I don't know. I just don't really feel the Ferraris or any of that stuff. I mean, they're cool cars. The Lamborghinis are cool cars. They're just, to me, they're overrated. They're really, I don't know. They're really not that great for what they are. They used to be, I feel like they used to be a lot better, but now they're just kind of another cheap car that's mass produced. So if I did get any supercar, I'd definitely go for like a Koenigsegg, a Gara or something like that. But those are a lot of money. So maybe one day we'll see. Thanks for the reply. I'm a big fan and a big Mopar fan as well. Hope to see you at SEMA. Hopefully, that'd be cool if SEMA's like it usually is. I mean, it's the best time to have, go to SEMA, have fun with friends, do stuff at night. I mean, Top Golf is always fun. I mean, mm, uh, thanks for that reply on the GTO, Dave. Once I get it done, I will be letting you know. I might let Miss Sandy race you, and she's 54. Well, I probably go down the bottom really quick because it's hasn't been an hour yet, but me and my grandma are going to dinner, so I kind of need to wrap this up. So just seen a Grand National with a GTR engine. Dang. But what's your thoughts on swapping a Hellcat powertrain and a manual trans into a Ram single cab? I think it's already been done. Maybe not a single cab. I think it was a crew cab, but I think they've already done it. Let's see. So I think I'm gonna end the live stream here because I'm going to dinner with my grandma. But thanks for tuning in. I should have that video out tomorrow of the roof and all that stuff. And hopefully you guys like it. I mean, like I said, there was some issues with it. So I will be doing another one once I get the slower hardener. But thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time, next Sunday, and peace.